Hi, and thank you for inviting my museum into your project. Sadly, the pandemic made collaboration difficult, but I am impressed at what you have achieved, and I'm confident that your efforts will make a difference for a lot of people. My name is Hege Hauge Tofte, and I am an historian. I have been working with and in museums for almost 24 years, leaving out 1 year, living and traveling Portugal with my family. I am also a trained teacher, and my reference to museums have always been closely connected to my work with young people and elderly locals, trying to involve and engage them in their own history and traditions as a base of building local identity and a common future. These last 3 years, I have been the director of Ostfoldmuseene, or the Museums of Ostfold, located in southeastern part of Norway. We are working on projects to strengthen our role as an active participant in local and regional social development. We want to be an arena with a low threshold for building futures and sharing expectations based on our rich history. We also want to empower more people by integrating them and giving them a voice. This region in Norway experiences more unemployment, has more people without a finished education and more health-related issues than most parts of Norway. Our museums have formed a 10-year plan, Hope for the Future, to establish ourselves as one of the regional key players in providing cultural knowledge. Knowledge based on people's identity from the rich agricultural landscape, stronghold of the industrial era, and an important cradle of modern democracy in Norway. To reach our goals, we must find new ways to communicate our renewed social role and create new networks with our local visitors, schools, volunteers, local government, charity organizations, and local entrepreneurs. We are trying to find new ways of developing our organization and our competence. It was a shame we missed the chance of sharing our work with you and learning from your experiences with similar challenges in Portugal. At Ostfoldmuseene, we are 60 employees in charge of 76 historical buildings, a collection of 110,000 artifacts, 1.6 million photos, and 3,500 meters of historical archives. Each year, we have around 100,000 visitors, very few of which are tourists, and many of them collaborate actively as volunteers or co-creators. In total, we meet people on 12 different physical locations, divided between fortresses, manor houses, historical gardens, true traditional Scandinavian-style outdoor museums, a historical theatre, farmhouses, old factories, mills, and locks. In Norway, the tradition of local historical collections are closely connected to the remaking of the new national identity after hundreds of years under Denmark and finally Sweden. Norway, as a modern independent state, is very young, dating back to 1905. The process of independence and building of a democracy developed a wide range of supporting volunteers and public institutions, and many of these were vital in the foundation of our museums. Museums are not partisan, but political tools in the sense that we are vital in the constant process of empowering people. These days, museums are independent organizations with autonomy that preserves, engages in scientific research, and collaborates with the public through activities, exhibitions, and teaching. Preserving local traditions, handicrafts, dialects, promoting local food, providing school projects, etc., have been our priority for generations, but today our mandate is broader. This spring, the museums in Norway got a renewed mandate from the government to further emphasize our active role in the building of local communities, strengthening the public participation and co-creation through focus on relevance and diversity. Our aim is to find new common ground and actively address questions supporting the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Sustainable cities and communities are one of many relevant focus areas for our projects. Let me provide you with some practical examples. During the last couple of years, we have moved out of our museums for a few weeks and established us in closed shops in city centers to meet people. The concept of pop-up museums has resulted in new material and personal stories being added to the collections and exhibits. This summer, a local volunteer group in the city of Halden presents the result of years of research and collecting local produced ceramics. The museum has helped them register and handle the objects, as well as provide a location and logistics for an exhibition. The museum also added their own commentary exhibition with older ceramics with reference to Halden's manor house, Rød. In the city of Moss, the museum holds the historical collection of Hege Hauge, the outdoor clothing company. This is the same company that established factories for production in Portugal, and these days almost none of the production or design is based locally in Norway. The museum is working closely with seamstresses, designers and developers from the 60s, 70s and 80s to register and give the collection good provenance. At the same time, this gives a city transforming into the post-industrial age, pride and confidence. In 2016, the city of Sarpsborg celebrated the foundation of the medieval town of Borg 1,000 years back. The Museum of Borgersyssel was permanently transformed with a new building for modern exhibitions and cultural activities on a large scale, engaging both local, regional and national bodies of government, but driven by the force of employees of the museum in collaboration with a range of local volunteers, small organizations and cultural entrepreneurs. This summer, the same Borgersyssel Museum celebrates its own 100th anniversary, portraying 10 people, some totally unknown and some known figures, each one representing a decade of both individual, local, national and international history, in addition to the museum's own history. In the Open Door Museum of Falkenborg, co-creation with a local entrepreneur has resulted in a Viking reenactment program for team building and education, following the birth and close escape of the Norwegian king Håkon in times of war. Collaboration with local amateurs and professionals keep the unbroken traditions of the historical Fredrikshall Theatre in the city of Halden alive, providing local goodwill for the museum and pride to the local community. Many museums in Ostfold engages in annual celebrations, especially around midsummer and Christmas, setting up local marketplaces, keeping traditions alive and adding new ones to the communities from the newcomers. Talks of local interest in collaboration with organizations and local professionals are given in many of our arenas, and the museum offers guided walks of culture and nature, including city walks, developed with local volunteers and enthusiasts. Dugnad is a Norwegian expression of intensive collective and volunteer work, meant to both strengthen social bonds, feel collectively responsible, and get things done in an efficient way, preferably in as short time as possible. In a dugnad, both employees that usually holds other positions, together with volunteers, put everything else aside to get things done. Museums in Norway are full of dugnads, especially during spring, in preparation for the summer season. This provides local with a sense of belonging and ownership. My museums also engage in language cafes that provide newcomers an opportunity to learn Norwegian or join courses of making food or handicraft for the benefit of cultural exchange. In this sense, I find that my museum is in a position to both be a living space, providing arenas to discuss the right to the place, and a place to create the living space for the future, both for rural areas and our small cities. Just what your letter is all about. Congratulations on the completion of the project LigAções, and good luck with your important future work.